Top 10 cool facts about hammerhead sharks. Majestic, intelligent, fascinating, and above all, oddly shaped heads. When you think of a hammerhead shark, many words might spring to mind. But how much do you really know about them? In today's video, we're gonna take a look at top 10 cool things you need to know about hammerhead sharks. Let's get started. Number 1. There are at least 10 known species. Experts have identified 10 living shark species in the hammerhead family, although it's possible that even more exist. 9 belong to the genus Sphaerna, Greek for hammer, while the other, an oddball called the winghead shark, is the sole member of its own genus, Eusphaera. Keen-eyed observers can tell most of these guys apart by the slight differences in their skull shapes. Hammerheads also vary in terms of overall size. The smaller species max out at 3 to 5 feet in length, while the biggest is the great hammerhead, which can be up to 18 feet long and weigh over 1,000 pounds. Number 2. Some are endangered. 3 hammerhead species have a high risk of extinction. The great hammerhead, which is threatened by the shark fin trade and bycatch, the winghead, whose population is believed to have declined 50% in 42 years from overfishing and net entanglement, and the scalloped hammerhead, which in 2014 became the first shark to ever receive protection from the US Endangered Species Act. Number 3. It looks like they evolved somewhat recently. In 2010, geneticists at the University of Colorado Boulder compared DNA samples from 8 hammerhead species in an attempt to map out the family's evolutionary history. The molecular evidence suggested that the hammerheads started to diversify around 20 million years ago. The fossil record tells us sharks have existed for at least 420 million years, so if the University of Colorado team is correct, hammerheads are relative newcomers on the world stage. What did the earliest hammerheads look like? According to the researchers, these were probably large-bodied animals. They also argue that today's modestly sized bonnethead and winghead sharks independently evolved from big ancestors. Number 4. Their heads may give them a hunting edge. These sharks' broad, flat hammerhead shapes head are called cephalofoils, and no other creature in the world has a head quite like it. Hammerheads, like all other sharks, have sensory organs that can detect the electric fields of prey in the water. Some scientists hypothesize that the broad cephalofoils allow hammerheads to have more of these organs, therefore allowing them to better sense prey. A 2002 experiment seemingly lent credence to this notion. Although the researchers didn't find a difference in sensitivity to the electric fields between a hammerhead and a cone-nosed sandbar shark, the hammerhead was able to search a larger area, which the researchers said would increase the possibility of prey encounter. The researchers also noted that the hammerhead was more maneuverable than the sandbar shark. Number 5. Great hammerheads like to swim sideways. A typical shark has 8 fins on its body. Probably the most recognizable is the first dorsal fin. It typically acts like a sailboat keel, helping the shark stay balanced while it swims. Sharks also have a pair of pectoral fins located on either side of the body, just behind the head, which most species use to steer and generate lift. In the majority of sharks, the pectoral fins are longer than the first dorsal, but for great hammerheads, the opposite is true. And that has a big effect on how these animals move. A 2016 tagging study attached GoPro cameras to 5 great hammerheads that were living out in the wild. While being monitored, the sharks spent 90% of their swimming time tilted to one side, usually at an angle of 50 to 75 degrees. Why they do this? It's thought that after a hammerhead rolls sideways, the creature's first dorsal fin acts like one of the pectoral fins. This reduces drag while also increasing the animal's wingspan. Both factors enable the shark to swim more efficiently. Number 6. One species eats seagrass. The bonnethead is a small hammerhead that frequents warm, shallow waters. It hunts crabs and shrimp, and sometimes it also ingests seagrass. One survey compared the gut contents of numerous wild bonnetheads and found that up to 62% of all the organic matter discovered in their stomachs was seagrass. And in a 2017 experiment, captive bonnetheads were fed a 90% seagrass diet. Rather than waste away, the sharks gained weight. A feces analysis showed that the sharks were digesting half of the grass they'd been eating. Enzymes designed to break down plant matter are present in the bonnethead's digestive tract. Experts aren't sure if the sharks go out of their way to eat seagrass or just swallow it accidentally while hunting small animals. Either way, the bonnethead now qualifies as the only omnivorous shark known to science. Number 7. The larger ones use their heads to pin down stingrays. If a stingray is found just above the ocean floor, a hungry great hammerhead will use its cephalofoil to pin the creature against the sand. Then, with a bite to the pectoral fin or wee, the prey is immobilized, but the shark doesn't always escape unscathed. Great hammerheads are often found with stingray barbs on their faces. Number 8. They've got better depth perception than other sharks. In 2009, biologist Michelle McComb and her team captured live bonnetheads, winghead sharks, and scalloped hammerheads to test their vision. They attach recording devices right below the shark's corneas and monitor the fish's eye. The eye movements while sweeping light beams across their faces, researchers found that the binocular overlap in the hammerhead's field of vision is up to 3 times higher than it is in lemon and black-nosed sharks, both of which have cone-shaped snouts. That means hammerheads have superior depth perception when compared to other sharks. Unfortunately, that advantage comes at a cost. Since their eyes are so far apart, hammerheads suffer from a large blind spot at the tip of their snouts. Number 9. One bonnethead had a virgin birth at a Nebraska zoo. In 2001, a bonnethead was born inside one of the aquariums at Omaha's Henry Doherty Zoo. The birth came as a complete surprise to the staff because all the bonnetheads in that tank were females and none had seen a male of their species in 3 years. At first, it seemed like the mother must have been storing sperm. Females of many animal species can keep semen alive for years before using it to fertilize eggs, but testing confirmed that Omaha's baby bonnethead had no paternal DNA. The mother had reproduced by fertilizing her own egg cells, a phenomenon known as parthenogenesis. It had never been documented in sharks before. Number 10. Some hammerheads travel in schools. Though many sharks are solitary creatures, scalloped hammerheads, which can reach lengths of 10 to 12 feet and can weigh in at 300 pounds or more, form schools. The young sharks probably travel in schools for mutual protection, but nobody knows why full-grown scalloped hammerheads, which have few natural predators, congregate like this. The behavior may have something to do with their migration patterns or mating habits. Some schools are exclusively made up of females, while others contain sharks of both sexes and different ages. In adults-only groups, the fish tend to disperse at night before meeting back up during the day. That wraps up the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay notified about our uploads. I'll see you next time. Till then, peace out!